Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about LeBron James' return to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh yes, I guess you can go home again, contrary to what a lot of people may think. It's just hard to believe and fathom it was like 4 years ago when LeBron James made this great big decision. It was like a big extravaganza and all this fanfare, national television, talking about his decision and going to the Miami Heat. He left a lot of Cleveland Cavalier fans very incensed, to say the least. And now we're going to see how forgiving maybe some will be. I don't know if all of them will be. But I was a little flabbergasted. I was a little surprised by this whole decision of him coming back. I felt he would mull it over, and it was maybe somewhat in as far as the possibilities go, as far as a team he was going to land with. But I mean, when I went on the computer earlier today and I saw a headline somewhere on Yahoo Sports saying he returned to Cleveland or something, I was like, wow, that he made this decision. But apparently, from my understanding, according to a blog on SI, or what's an article, which I guess at least will appear on Sports Illustrated, the magazine, it's got something to the effect where he wanted to raise his family in that northeast Ohio area and where he grew up, and I think that played a role. And it is the team where he originally was from. He stated that he wanted to finish his career with Cleveland, but he just wasn't sure when. Well, I guess we know now that he's finishing it with them. The thing about this is that we look at LeBron James and going to Cleveland for next season. I mean, one player, as dominant as he is like going to very well change this dynamic for the whole Eastern Conference in the NBA. We look at we start with the Cavs. Now, the Cavaliers, the last 3 full seasons, I'm excluding that condensed season, the 2011-12 strike season. The last 3 full seasons, the Cavs have averaged about 25 wins per season. Now, the Cavaliers last season, they went 33-49. Now, James, with a possible acquisition of Kevin Love from Minnesota, I think they could conceivably lead the Cavaliers to 50 wins and perhaps a number 4 or number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. They could be immensely improved. I think when you look at this, is that LeBron James in his first season with the Cavaliers back in the 2003-04 season, he improved the Cavaliers' win total by 18 games. They went from 17-65 to 35-47. So I think it's very realistic to think they could be a very competitive team, but I don't know if they're ready to win the Eastern Conference. Even LeBron has stated that it's going to take time for them to get to that level where they're a really upper echelon team and could compete to come out of the Eastern Conference. So we look at this now. Could Dwayne Wade, let's say, play speculation? Now, if he was to maybe go to the Bulls have expressed interest in him. Now, between him, could he collaborate with a healthy Derrick Rose on the Bulls, possibly to an Eastern Conference title now? Now that possibly he might not be in Miami. From what I understand, Chris Bosh has signed with the Heat, and Bosh stays, maybe Wade will stay. So now it really makes things very interesting with all the conjecture and speculation and possibilities from other NBA teams. Now Miami, now let's say they just keep Bosh and Wade leaves. Now you could be talking about a rebuilding or reclamation project that they may face. This is the team, Miami Heat, that have won 2 of the last 3 NBA titles and may not make the postseason in 2015. Now, we look at the New York Knicks. They could be a team possibly that might contend for the Eastern Conference title. Now, if they don't have Miami as any major obstruction or roadblock, the New York Knicks went 37-44. I'm sorry, 37-45, somewhere around there last season. And if the New York Knicks I mean, they got Phil Jackson in there now, and if he's good enough to maybe help augment the team to give him maybe 7 or 8 wins, addition to what they had last season, hey, maybe the Knicks can make the playoffs, and who knows what happens even if they get a number 7 or 8 seed. Now we look at another team are the Brooklyn Nets. Now the Brooklyn Nets made it to the second round last season, and who beat them in the second round? The Miami Heat with LeBron James. Now what happens now if, let's just say that if somehow the Nets ownership or what have you can entice Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to stay with the team, and you have a healthy Brook Lopez during the season, Darren Williams, if he plays to his level, his potential, and then that could be a team that could win 50 games and can compete for the Eastern Conference title possibly as well, I think. So this whole thing with LeBron leaving, even though he didn't make a big fanfare this time, and he did this in a very discreet manner, perhaps more professional than when he made the decision in 2010 to go to the Heat, it's still causing a really big story and can change possibilities for all these teams, a number of teams in the Eastern Conference, in terms of where they're going to be if they make the postseason, if they don't, or how high they finish in during the season as far as a postseason seed, or I should say. So this really has caused a lot of interesting topics and discussions now, and LeBron James, when I look at him now, I mean, we've seen the ascension of an NBA player over the years, and leading his team to 4 consecutive NBA title appearances, going 2-2 in those series. But we've also seen the evolution, I think, of a man with LeBron James, and showed a lot more maturity, I believe, in making the decision in the way he did, and not having to do this in front of a great big national TV audience. You could still, I mean, I think considering the way things went down the last time, and causing people in Cleveland to become very irate and infuriated, I think in this manner maybe he had learned something from that, and now he did this in a more discreet manner. This was very professional. He talked with the Cleveland Cavaliers owner, and it seems like they've worked things out, and like I stated before, who says you can't go home again? And maybe, just maybe, the Cleveland Cavaliers, with the acquisition of LeBron James, and perhaps the acquisition of Kevin Love, can help get some love back from the Cleveland Cavalier fans, and who knows what's going to happen in the next few seasons. I think Cleveland Cavaliers, I do believe they will win 1 title anyway with LeBron James. 2 is possible. I think very strongly 1 at some point. I think, even if it's within 5 years, it's going to take a few years at least as far as a reclamation project goes, in order to get Cleveland back, get them to a point where they can contend for the Eastern Conference title. And but I do see a very methodical process in doing so. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will get a little better as the seasons go on, and by season 3 they can very well be an upper echelon team in the NBA, and a team to be reckoned with. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment about LeBron James returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And until next time, people, stay well.